Everybody, this is 15 Minutes of Fame and Jeff Veale coming to you from downtown Manila in the Philippines, late in the afternoon, about 8 p.m. at night, actually. I've got an awesome guest here today, very, very interesting man. He's travelled all over the world and he's got a bit of a story to tell us. So it's going to be my great pleasure shortly to introduce a gentleman by the name of Dale Comstock. And Gail's certainly an entrepreneur and business owner. He's going to give you some ideas of how to do it all. He owns a few businesses, many in fact, and had a lifetime of experience. 369 MonkeyShines, it's bar restaurant in Bali, I believe. PT, Strategic Outcomes Indonesia-Florida, Strategic Outcomes Enterprises, Tier 1 Performance Coaching, and more. Guys, some of the industries are security, safety consulting, personal professional performance coaching, entertainment, and food and beverage. Years in the industry, he's been doing this for a long time, guys. Some close on 25 years, and probably more behind that. Brief description of his business: high risk, facility security and risk mitigation, nuclear, petrochemical, military, commercial, private security consulting, recovery and repatriation services, performance training, mind-body engineering. He owns the Bar-Billiards-Resto, which is pool, karaoke, food, beverages, and lots of fun, guys. That's what it's all about. Key achievements, too many to list. He's going to tell you about that. He's lived in 3 different countries around the globe and local markets. Personal motto, and it's very true, guys, be all you can be, just turn up, be all you can be. Right. Interesting fact, former Delta Force operator, Green Beret, paramilitary operator, actor, author, PhD, multilingual, and there's more. It's my great pleasure to welcome to the show today, Mr. Dale. How are you, Dale?
Great, man. Thanks for having me on the show. It's a pleasure.
It's certainly my pleasure. Let's get this show underway. Tell us about your journey. It's a long journey. Tell us about your journey and what made you pursue your current career path. What's it been all about? Where did it all start?
Yeah, I'll try to give you the Reader's Digest version. It's pretty lengthy. But so essentially, I'm an American, obviously. I grew up in a military culture. My father was in the Army for 20 years. It only made sense that when I, graduated high school, I followed his footsteps. So I did 20 years in the Army, as you pointed out, as a Delta Force operator, as a Green Beret, infantry guy, paratrooper, blah, blah, blah. I retired right before 9/11 and then got recruited into the military, the government. We'll call it the other government agency, the Alphabet Company in the United States, as a paramilitary operative for them. Concurrently, I built a couple of companies. My first one was Global Security Consultants Incorporated. I actually started that before 9/11, and I sold it 3 years later after 9/11 to G4S, 𝐌𝐢𝐬𝐬. So they actually owned the company. Then I turned around and reincorporated, built another company called Risk Control Institute. In 2011, I sold that to another company. Concurrently, I'm working for the Alphabet Company, quite busy, in fact. And then I ended up getting recruited. I got discovered by all things by Discovery Channel. And I'm on a TV show called One Man Army. And then I was, again, NBC saw me. They called me. They liked what they saw. Before you know it, now I'm in Hollywood. I'm acting and pretending. And I did that for a few years. I didn't really like it. I mean, I liked it, but it was not my calling, man. I'm an action guy, and to me, just going out there and pretending just wasn't good. Yeah, it wasn't satisfying. So I ended up literally from there moving to Hong Kong, and I ran security detail there with a multi-billionaire investment banker, and then that's where I met my wife. My wife is Indonesian. And then she moved back to Indonesia. I followed her back. I didn't really follow her back. I just kept going back and forth to see her over the years, and then. I saw some business opportunities in Jakarta to start with, particularly in the security space. I built a company there, and then ultimately we picked up, our, whole tent stakes, and we came to Bali and we started our business here. So our first company here was, as you pointed out, Strategic Outcomes Indonesia. It's a security company. We provide security guards and explosive detector dogs for like all the Marriott properties and hotels. And then we just opened up about 8 months ago, 9 months ago, a Bar-Resto, right? Billiards pool and a bar over in the Nusa Dua area. So we have two.
Nusa Dua, great place.
Yeah, it's great, man. We live right outside the resort area, but so we're doing well here. I have a home here. I have family here, extended family. In fact, we've hired all the family. They're all running the security and they're running their bar and things like that. And then, as you pointed out, I also have a home in the Philippines, and I have an extended family there. Also a daughter there as well, and her mother. And so I travel quite often there. And then I have a home in Panama City Beach, Florida, where I have another daughter. So I literally have 3 homes in 3 countries and 3 families that I manage and maintain. So that's kind of a little overview of what I do. I mean, my life, but what do I do? Besides the bar, actually my wife runs the bar as a security company. I build them and then I hand them off to her, because if I don't, I'll wreck it because I get bored really quick, And so, I'm always looking to, to do something else, and,
what's been the most challenging aspect of your work and how have you overcome that?
I can't say, probably taking on too much, and so what I mean by that, I'm a type A personality, and I got my hands in a lot of different things. I pointed out I do security consulting. I do life coaching, business coaching. I'm actually still doing movies and acting. As I get called, I do a lot of public speaking. I do a lot of different things. I just wear a different hat on different days. And then on my own, there's different projects I'm always working on, trying to make more money or do this or do that. So it comes down to, task management, time management, and task prioritization. Every day I've got to sit there and evaluate, okay, what am I going to do today first, second, third, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the biggest challenge, is staying engaged, because it's really easy to get overwhelmed. It's like you just want to push back, go, man, there's just too much to do here. You just want to lay in the bed, just kind of look at it and give up. But you got to keep yourself motivated. And that's people, there's a lot of, I use people like, I don't know, Tony Robbins and others. If you ask them, I want to do this task. How do I do this task? They'll tell you how to eat an elephant one bite at a time.
Yes.
And I will argue, no. If you want to be very linear in life, you just want to kind of do one thing, okay, go eat one elephant at a time. I always advocate for eating an entire herd of elephants, one bite at a time. A bite out of this one, 2 out of that one, 3 out of that one, 4 out, until I consume the herd, and then get the next one, right? And that's how you grow, and that's how you you really expand your experiences.
Sure.
And so that's kind of always been, so yeah, it's a lot going on.
Yeah,
but for my personality, I got to do it, man. It's what keeps me going,
Love it. I've got a backstory on that. What I say to people is, like you're doing, I say, do lots of shit and be right more than you're wrong. That's all you got to do. Be right more than you're wrong.
Well, exactly.
Be successful.
Well, 80% solution is the way I look at it, right? So you can look at it like this. I think it's called minimum service output, minimum service product. Basically, an 80% solution today is better than a 100% solution in 2 months, right? If 80% will get you over the finish line and you can start making money, then why not start now? You don't have to wait till it's perfect. Just get it going now.
Perfect. Yeah, it's work in progress. Right.
Yeah.
Tell us an important moment in your career that pretty much, after the army and everything, changed your direction. Where was that pivotal point?
So I retired in 2001 from the U.S. Army after 20 years. And then I started my own company. And then concurrently, I literally got recruited by the agency. And so they were like, we want to bring you on board, blah, 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 blah. And so I was like, well, can I run my company and do this? And said, of course you can, because you'll be a contractor. So I did both. I ran my company, and I also literally I was working 9 months out of the year downrange in Afghanistan, Iraq, and around the world doing government type related work. But I made it work. And then 2004, I sold my first company. I reincorporated in 2011. I sold my second company. And also in 2011, I resigned from working from the government, and that's when I got introduced to the Hollywood. So the pivotal point was my first retirement from the military, but I just retired from the military. I never really retired, and I've been just moving steadily forward, but I've done a lot of different things along the way. And it's been a hell of a journey, and I have no regrets. I've enjoyed everything I've done, and I'm always open for the next opportunity, man. So, if something pops up, go, hey, that's a really cool idea. If I had
burger restaurant, burger and beer in the Philippines, my friend, a franchise, burgers and beer.
Well, you know what? I'm actually considering that for my other family, right? I'm
Yeah,
actually thinking about, so giving them, something that's theirs that they
you can
can
play
run,
with. Yeah,
manage, and make. I look at it like this, right? I don't know how old you are. I'm 62, but I'm
77.
looking at
Yep.
how old are you? 62?
77. 77.
Oh wow, man, you're doing good. Holy cow! Right on, man. But I look at it like this: it's insurance, man. If something happens to me tomorrow, at least I know my family's taken care of. They have a means to keep making
Thoughts.
money, and that's how I look at it. At our age, when we hit a certain point, it's no longer about us anymore. It's
That's
about
right.
the ones we care about, right? What are we going to leave behind for them?
It's a passion. It's always been a passion. It's never about a job. It's about a passion, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely,
Right.
absolutely, man.
Tell me, in
Absolutely.
your opinion, what are the key qualities you believe have contributed to your success? Obviously, your determination. What else?
Mindset. So, and
Yeah,
here's the thing. Everybody tells you what to think, right? School taught you what to think.
yeah, right.
Tells you what to think. The news tells you what to think. The government tells you what to
Yeah,
think. Your
right.
neighbors tell you what to think, but nobody ever tells you how to think. And there's a huge difference between what to think and how to think. How to think is how to use your consciousness and your subconsciousness to create reality. It's by the way, success is based on physics. That's it. Has nothing to do with willpower. Has nothing to do with philosophy. It's all about literally physics. Success is based on energy, frequency. If you understand the fundamentals of metaphysics and physics, the quantum entanglement, all these terms, there's no reason why you can't succeed at anything you do. This is the reason I have the life that I live, is because I learned it at the age of 15, and I've carried that lesson. I call it a gateway experience from the age of 15. I learned it on my own. It just stumbled across it, and literally I went from zero to hero overnight, and it's allowed me to achieve everything I've set out to do in my life. And it's
Nice.
how I think. I program myself every day through meditation and basically writing down my affirmations.
Yeah,
I think a certain way every day, and that's what's created the life that I live. Had nothing to do with me being, I like to think of myself as average, and I'm no different than most people. I'm not better than anybody else.
you're not
It's
lucky. It's just it's just it's attitude, like you say, mindset, and the willingness to have a go.
exactly right. A calculated risk taker. That's what I am.
Yeah.
Calculated risk taker.
You talked about learning and everything else, and the system at school. They try to teach me sit up straight and don't smile. So I
Right.
said, I'm out of here. I left at 14. I got out.
Well,
I, I
if you think
escaped.
of, if you think about it, school is not designed for boys. It's just not, right? I mean, you're asking boys to sit still in the classroom, and
Yeah,
boys are not designed for that. We're high active. We're not hyperactive. That's all
yeah,
bullshit,
yeah,
right? And so, you got boys that are trying to be boys, and you ask them to sit down, and they don't do well in school. That's why more girls have college degrees, because the classroom environment and learning environment is not conducive to the nature of males, young men.
yeah,
And so, to your point, we do better outside, in a different environment, more competitive type environments. And sitting around in a classroom
yeah.
with a bunch of girls that are nice and calm, it doesn't work for us. That's why I didn't do well in
You're a
school.
breath of fresh air. You got a good handle on this. Tell me, how do you stay motivated and continue to innovate in your field? What's the secret?
I'm sorry, say that again.
How do you stay motivated and continue to innovate in your fields? What's your secret?
Yeah, so purpose, right? So we have to have a purpose. A lot of people don't have purpose, which is interesting, right?
Yeah,
They just go along every day, just grinding along, but no, they have no compass azimuth. Where are you going? And ultimately, where do you want to end up? And when you look back, what do you want your legacy to look like? I know my purpose is. My purpose is my family, my children, right? Their betterment, not mine, their betterment. But I do know I have to better myself. I have to be the best that I can be. Every day I have to work out, take care of myself, eat properly. I got to be as healthy as I can, because I have a long life to live. I still got a 6-year-old daughter. I got one that's 6.
yeah,
She's 15, 24, 36, 40. I got a whole range of kids, right? The older ones don't need me, but the little ones still do. And so I got to be around for them. So that motivates me. That gives me my purpose, plus my, the ones that I love. And so that's what gives me my motivation, my drive, because as we point out before the show, you and I were talking about, it's not about us anymore, right?
that's
It's
right.
it's about them, right? And a real man, he's going to put his family first. Now, when we were young, I did a lot of things for me to make me the best version of
That's
myself
right.
as
It's all
I
about
could.
the money when we're younger, isn't it?
Yeah,
You're chasing the dream.
and material things,
Yeah,
but I could sleep in the back of my car. I can fly in a toilet of an airplane. I don't need all the material stuff. I'm a minimalist, you know, and it's not about me, like I said. So it's about my family. That's what gives me purpose. That's what motivates me every day. But besides, I like a challenge. I like going out and building things and making things and creating things. I don't like sitting on my ass watching TV and getting fat, you know, and out of shape. You know, I plan on, you know, being like this when I'm 100 years old. You know, I'm not
I love it.
I'm not slowing down, man, you know, and I don't have to.
Tell us about a recent project or achievement you're particularly proud of.
Oh my God. Well, probably starting this bar because I was never
Excellent.
in the,
For your family. Fantastic.
yeah, I was never in the food and beverage service, nor was my wife. We had a dream a few years ago. It'd be like really cool to have a bar here in Indonesia, you know,
Yes.
and we saw a place back in June, July, and we thought, man, that would be perfect for a bar. We
Yeah.
inquired about it. Next thing I know, I was like, put the money down, and we reconstructed it, built it all out within 6 months. The doors were open, and it's a pretty nice bar. It's very upscale, probably too upscale. Some people would argue for Bali. It's not your traditional, you know, Balinese wood and decor. We actually have carpet. Yeah, good luck. How about that? In Indonesia, we actually have carpet, you know, but it's really nice, and I'm really proud of, you know, my
It's a
wife.
nice area though, where you are. It suits it because it's a nice
Yeah,
area.
yeah,
It's not
but
the slums. It's a top area. Beautiful.
yeah, yeah, I'm proud of that because we worked really hard at it, you know, and we came up, you know, we just kind of spitballed it, you know. We didn't have a designer come in. We got a good contractor, and we said, you know, let's do this. We want that. What do you think? Yeah, I'll work and do it. And then "Yeah, that's a good idea. What about this?" And then we just kind of did that. And before you know, it's like, wow, we built this. We didn't have anybody build it. We had a guy build it, but we had nobody tell us how to build it, right? So I'm pretty proud of that. But I'm also
Yeah.
proud of my other companies. You know, I've done well, built companies, sold companies. You know, those are, you know, for me, those are huge achievements because I really didn't have a business. I was a soldier. I grew up as a soldier's son. I grew up as a soldier, you know, and then suddenly I learned how to be a
When they come
businessman.
out, when that stops, I was speaking to a gentleman today who helps soldiers. When that stops, a lot of people are lost, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't know where to go or what to do next. They've been trained for 20 years in the system, and they got
Yeah.
no idea what to do when they get out,
But you
right?
know what, Dad, what you know, for all the veterans that are listening to this out there, I don't care what military you're
Yeah,
from or what government. Here's the thing: the military is the best university in the world because
absolutely.
everything you need to know, the military already taught you. You just got to take and adapt it to the civilian world, right?
Yes.
And so, you know, if you can do that, you already have a business degree. Like, you know, if you in the
Yeah.
military, you
Life.
know, personnel management, you know, I mean, you know, office man, there's so many things that you learn in the military that apply to the corporate world. You just got to learn how to tweak it, maybe change some, you know, the name, and then boom, apply it over here, and it works. So,
You got it. You're one of the ones that got it. Tell me, what advice would you give someone who's trying to keep up and following your footsteps? Be a hard act, but let's talk. What would you tell them?
you know what? Like I said, you know what my motto is: be all that you can be. You know where I actually got that from? Before I joined the Army, in 1981 is when I joined the Army. Prior to that, the U.S. Army Recruiting Command, that was the logo to recruit people. Be all that you can be,
All
and I
right.
and that has always stuck with me. In fact, when I look at something, I go, man, I would really like to do that. That would be really cool. Well, why not? Be all that you can be, and that's what drives me to do it. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm still driven by that
Read
motto
that
today.
mantra.
And I tell people, you know, be all that you can be. You know,
Yeah.
don't waste your time. You know, I mean, you know, you need 7, 8 hours sleep. That's all you need. All right. Stop wasting the rest of your time. Stop playing video games. There's
Yeah.
no return on investment there. Only thing you're getting out of that is, you know, self gratification. Focus on things that are going to make you a better person personally and professionally. And remember what your purpose is. If you don't have a purpose, you better find a purpose. Otherwise, you're going to live a life of mediocrity and a life unfulfilled, you
Yeah.
know?
You haven't got a
So,
job. You're like me. You got a passion, right? When you got a passion, you just get up every morning full of fire and brimstone, right? Ready to go.
well, I'm glad you said that word passion because in what I tell people in especially in my training, there are 4 tenets for success. The first one, you got to have a purpose. What do you want to do? What's your goal? What's your plan? Right? Okay, that's easy to do. 2, you need to have a plan. Why do you need a plan? Because it brings clarity. It can be a shitty plan. You can build the plan. Eventually, it's going to fit. You know,
Change it. It'll change. Yep.
the third thing you have to have is passion. It's the most important thing. Passion is desire to get over that finish line. So I think of passion as as the engine to success, right? And if you don't have passion, people lose passion very quickly because things start getting hard and they start having setbacks. Like, this is not for me, and they give up. 99% of people will give up, and most will never live a life fulfilled. And the last tenet is discipline. When passion dies, because it will die because it's going to get hard, all right, then the last thing that keeps you going is discipline. Get you out of the bed, get you behind the computer, get you to the gym. And you do what you need to do in
systems,
no matter what.
Systems will set you free. Systems, yeah.
Right. So
passion methods, yeah.
Yeah, passion is the most important. You got to have passion. If you do something, if you're not 110% committed to seeing that thing complete, stop wasting your time. Just abandon, do something else. Otherwise, you're gonna waste your time. You know, and that's how I look at it. I have never worked a day in my life, honestly. Everything I've done since I left high school is because I wanted to do it. I mean, I've even worked construction because I wanted to. Yes. Because I wanted to get something out of that, right? It was hard. I'm not gonna lie, it was really hard work, but I volunteered to do it to learn. And so, like I said, I've never worked per se a day in my life. I mean, I've never toiled in a job or profession I didn't enjoy. I even if it wasn't a great job or something, I looked at, okay, what can I do?
Do your best. If you don't like it, get out.
Yeah, but learn from it, right? Take what you can learn from it and move on to the next one, right? So
I mean, looking ahead, Dale, what are your goals and aspirations for the future? You've got another 50 years to go yet. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because that's exactly how I think, man. I'm going to be another 50 years for sure, but I'm going to build my own empire, man. I got a lot of things I want to do. I'm going to continue building businesses, but eventually I want to get to a place where I'm never going to, I'm already retired once from the military, but I'm not really retired, and I don't want to retire. I don't want to become sedentary, but
you want to give back. You want to share your knowledge and help the world, right?
Exactly. And exactly. That's particularly why I like life coaching, because I can do it when I'm like 120 in a wheelchair. All I got to do is sit behind a computer and I can teach you what I learned. Right. And so that's how I look at it. I plan on building and growing and, enjoying life and traveling, and continue to do the things that I've been doing and just live a life fulfilled. I don't, there's some surveys out there, where guys like you and I were interviewed, and the question was, what's the biggest regret you ever had in your life? 76% of the respondents came back, said they regretted not having lived a life fulfilled. And then they asked the same response and others in their final, days of life, what's the biggest regret you ever had? And almost 99% said the same thing. They regretted not having lived a life fulfilled. In other words, they didn't go skydiving, scuba diving, vacations, this, that, and that. And so nobody should die having not lived a life fulfilled. That's how I look at it. Now I'm going to die with a smile on my face. I don't want to die, but I'm going to go out, with a smile on my face because I did it all more than once. Right. And so that's my biggest fear, by the way, is I'm running out of things to do. It's like,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I love it. I love your mission. Yeah, isn't it sad? A lot of people don't leave their country. Some people don't leave their suburb.
I know. It's crazy, right?
Sad. That's sad.
I've lived in over 101 countries. It's been a great experience. The world is it's very interesting. The different cultures, we're all kind of the same. I don't care where you're from. I mean, we're all very, we're all kind of the same, at the end of the day. And I've got friends everywhere of every nationality, race, religion, but that's really probably probably my greatest treasure is having that experience, in fact,
as I tell people, they can't take your brain. They can take your assets, your money. They can never take your passion, your mindset, or your brain, guys. You've always got that. Always. Right.
At the end of the day, just enjoy your life, man. And if you're not doing if you're not enjoying your life, okay, if you're not changing what you don't like, you're choosing it. So, if you got a miserable life and you don't like what you're doing and you're not changing it, well, you're choosing it.
Tell people you're not a tree, move.
Yeah, right.
Tell me, what's the best way? You've told us about your aspirations. What's the best way for our listeners and people watching this to learn the lessons and find out more about you and get in touch?
Yeah, I'm really easy to find, man. My name, DaleCompstock.com. That's about as easy to get. You can get on there. You can message me there. There's a tab for that. You can find me on Instagram. I'm starting to go back to Facebook a little bit now that Zuckerberg said he won't, censor our speech and stuff. Anyways, I'll keep it to myself.
Facebook, you can find me on Facebook groups are great because that's where your tribe is.
Yeah, Facebook, LinkedIn. You can find me on Instagram. And my website, DaleCompstock.com. That's probably the
Before we
easiest.
wrap it up, there's probably nothing left to tell me, but tell us a fun fact about yourself that you can think of that most people don't know.
Oh my God, man. That's a hard one because my whole life is out there on the internet. If you Google it, everything. I mean, I'm a very transparent person. I mean, I tell all my
Sure.
secrets. I did tell you something before that I probably don't want to announce. That's going to keep to myself. But that's very, as you know, that's pretty unique, right? But it's also a very scary proposition for me.
Absolutely.
But oh yeah, so this is what people don't know. So there's a movie being made about me. It's actually being made right now. The script is being written. Right now, the title will probably be called Trillions with a T, and Brooklyn Weaver's the producer. He's actually he's the guy that wrote Out of the Furnace, a couple other movies. But basically, I'm on a lot of different podcasts, and he saw me on a podcast last year and decided that they're going to take one of my life stories, one of the things I have done of many, and they just thought it'd be a really cool, unique story. So they're actually writing the script for that. I don't know who's going to be who's going to play my part. I'm hoping it's probably going to be Tom Hardy, or somebody like that. But yeah, that's coming out. And the only reason I bring it up is because it was already posted on Instagram by the producers. So yeah. Not a lot of people know that. I've been kind of keeping it quiet. You know the whole karma thing, right? When you start talking too much about things you're doing, it just goes away. It's like you sabotage.
All right. Thanks for being on the show, Dale. You've been an awesome guest. And guys, if you want your 15 minutes of fame, just like Dale, and you'll meet heaps of interesting people all over the world. They won't be as active as Dale. He's one of a kind, no doubt. But there's interesting people all over the world, guys. Please like and subscribe to his channel and reach out to these people. They're all approachable guys. Just to pick up your bloody phone, it's a phone call, a cup of coffee, or meet him in person, have a beer, whatever. It's all about communication, guys, right? So once again, thanks for being on the show, Dale. You've been awesome.
Thank you, sir. Anytime.